I am Samantha, 32 years old, and I still can't believe what happened at my sister's engagement party last month. The second my mother proudly announced she was gifting my apartment to the happy couple, everything crumbled. The same apartment I'd dumped $60,000 into renovating, turning it from a basic shell into my own space. Mom just said it like it was no big deal. It's perfect for them to start their life. And Dad chimed in, "You need to move out." As casual as ordering coffee. Then my sister's text hit move out immediately. "You have 2 days." That's when I knew I'd quietly hire a crew and hit them with a surprise they'd never see coming. They showed up to take the place thinking it was theirs. I stood firm and said no. Dad raised his voice, making a threatening gesture right in my face. 1 week later, my lawyer called. "Your parents are in big trouble." I calmly replied, "I know." Before I get to my story, I want to know what time and what city you are listening in. I am so happy to know how far my story has spread. Like and subscribe to hear more about standing up to family betrayal. 3 years ago, I bought my apartment after scraping together every dollar from my teaching job in Philadelphia. It wasn't glamorous, a simple two-bedroom in Manayunk about 30 minutes from downtown Philly, but it represented my independence after a lifetime of being overshadowed. My relationship with my family has always been strained, especially with my younger sister, who's 3 years younger than me at 29. From the start, our parents treated her like the star of the show. She got the latest toys while I made do with hand-me-downs. She went to summer camps I could only dream of, and for her 16th birthday, she got a car. Meanwhile, I rode the bus until I saved up for my own at 20. Dad would pin her mediocre report cards on the fridge like trophies, but my straight A's got a shrug and, "That's expected from you." Mom rearranged family plans around her schedule, but never mine. It was clear she was the favorite, and I was just the reliable one who didn't need attention. I pushed through anyway, landing a job as a high school teacher after college, and climbing slowly lesson planning during evenings, grading papers on weekends, skipping trips to build my savings. By 29, I had enough for the down payment on that Manayunk apartment. The neighborhood was decent historic streets, with some charm close enough to the city for work, but quiet for focus. The place was basic when I got it: outdated kitchen, worn bathroom, carpeted floors that had seen better days. I poured my heart into fixing it up over 6 months, handling some work myself and hiring contractors for the rest. The kitchen got stainless steel appliances, granite countertops, and custom cabinets for $12,000. The bathroom overhaul included a new shower vanity and heated floors costing $11,000. I replaced the carpets with hardwood throughout for $15,000, added recessed lighting and fans for $5,000, and spent the last $7,000 on paint fixtures and a smart home setup with thermostats and security. My hands were calloused from tools, and I learned design tricks along the way, choosing neutral tones that felt warm yet modern. When it was done, the apartment was my haven, a symbol of what I'd built without handouts. I kept ties with my family out of habit: monthly dinners at their house, holidays, the occasional outing. Despite the favoritism, they were blood, so I gave Mom a spare key for emergencies, like if I locked myself out or needed plant watering while away. It seemed practical then, though I'd regret it later. My sister started dating her fiancé 2 years ago. He came from a comfortable background and pushed her toward a fancier lifestyle, upgrading her wardrobe, trading her car for something sleeker, talking about upscale neighborhoods they couldn't afford on his salary as a sales rep. I noticed how she began eyeing my apartment differently during visits, asking about property values in Manayunk, or complimenting the kitchen in a way that felt probing. He encouraged that entitlement, once even suggesting over coffee that the place would be ideal for a young couple starting out. I brushed it off, hoping for a better sibling bond someday, but it was a red flag. Around the same time, I met my boyfriend. We'd been dating for 6 months, and he quickly became my rock, listening to my stories about family dynamics during late-night calls, reminding me my achievements mattered. As a software developer in the city, he understood hard work and often texted encouragement when I vented about the favoritism. The invitation to my sister's engagement party came via mail fancy cardstock announcing the event at a country club near Philly in 3 weeks. I congratulated her via text and picked out a gift, not suspecting anything. But signs were there, like when my neighbor mentioned overhearing my sister bragging to her fiancé about their new home during a visit. It didn't click until later. The invitation arrived in my mailbox on a Wednesday, silver-embossed lettering on thick paper, announcing Jennifer and David's engagement celebration at a country club just outside Philly in 3 weeks. I texted my congratulations and started planning my outfit, a simple black dress that felt appropriate without trying too hard, along with a practical gift like kitchenware, since they seemed focused on settling down. The day of the party brought clear skies and mild weather typical for early fall in Pennsylvania. I drove the 30 minutes from Manayunk to the club, arriving to find the ballroom decked out with fresh flowers, string lights, and elegant setups for about 80 guests, mingling with champagne flutes in hand. I spotted my parents near the front, mom in a new dress that screamed expense, and dad in a tailored suit. They gave me quick hugs before diving back into chat with David's family. I moved through the crowd, greeting relatives and meeting his friends while appetizers circulated on trays. Jennifer and David made their entrance an hour in a sparkling gown with the engagement ring flashing under the lights, and him beaming beside her in a sharp tux. Despite our history, I felt a brief, genuine happiness for them until the speeches started after dinner. Dad tapped his glass for attention, but Mom took the lead, her voice carrying through the room as she praised Jennifer's choices and welcomed David to the family. Then she dropped it. To help them start this new chapter, we're giving them Samantha's apartment as their first home together. Applause broke out while I sat stunned. My apartment, the one I'd bought and improved with my own savings, now handed over like it was theirs to give. Mom continued. It's in a great spot, already renovated beautifully, and they can move in right after the wedding in 4 months. My chest tightened as guests nodded approvingly at the generosity, David clapping enthusiastically, and Jennifer glancing my way with a smug smile. No one mentioned it was my property, not theirs to offer. When the noise died down, I wove through the tables to reach my parents, my legs steady but my mind racing. What was that? I asked, keeping my tone low. Mom beamed. Isn't it wonderful? Jennifer and David need a solid start, and your place is ideal. But it's mine. I paid for it, renovated it with $60,000 of my savings. Dad frowned. Don't cause a scene, we'll talk later. I pressed. You can't give away what's not yours without even asking me. Mom waved it off. You have a stable job. You can find another spot. The rest of the evening blurred forced smiles during toasts, mechanical congratulations to the couple, and an early exit to my car where the reality hit hard. Later that night, with just family left, I confronted them again, this time with Jennifer and David present. This apartment is legally mine, the deeds in my name alone. Mom repeated, we thought you'd want to support your sister as she starts her family. By giving up my home? That's not support. It's taking without consent. Dad scoffed. You're overreacting. You make good money, rent something until you buy again. Jennifer leaned on David. We've already told friends we're moving there, and David has ideas for changes. Changes? I just invested in those renovations. David shrugged. It looks nice, but we'll make it ours. You get that right. I searched their faces for any recognition of the wrongness, but found none. This isn't happening. I'm not leaving. Dad's face hardened. You've always been difficult, Samantha, thinking only of yourself. I shot back. Family doesn't take from each other like this. As I drove home, my phone buzzed with Jennifer's text out. In 2 days, we're measuring tomorrow. The drive felt endless, my grip tight on the wheel as anger built. When I got to the building, I sat in the lot, processing the betrayal from the people supposed to have my back. Deep down, I knew this wasn't a mix-up. The entitlement in Jennifer's eyes, the dismissal from Mom and Dad's reaction, it was deliberate. Walking through my apartment, I touched the features I'd chosen, the countertops I'd picked, the floors I'd laid, each one a piece of my effort now targeted. The shock faded into resolve. They had no right to my property. I pulled my purchase documents, the mortgage and deed, listing me as sole owner, confirming what I suspected: no legal ground for their claim. The next day, calls to my parents went unanswered, so I texted, "The apartment is mine. You can't give it away without my consent, which I don't give. Let's discuss this calmly." Silence followed, no reply that day or the next. By afternoon, I was furious and worried, trying again only to find my number blocked. An email bounced back too. They were ignoring me, hoping I'd cave. I called my best friend Stephanie in a panic. They announced it at the party like it was theirs to give. She responded sharply, "That's crazy, they have no right. It's your name on everything." Jennifer texted, "I have 2 days, where do I even go?" Stephanie said firmly, "You're not going anywhere. Stand firm and get legal advice if needed." Her words steadied me. I wouldn't be pushed out. But the texts from Jennifer kept coming. "Need you out by Friday. David wants to plan furniture. Leave it clean, he has allergies. Dad says if not, he'll help pack." Each one fueled my determination. This was about more than the apartment now. It was breaking the pattern of always coming last. That evening, my neighbor Nicole stopped me in the hall. "I thought you were moving. Your sister was here yesterday, with her fiancé introducing themselves and measuring windows." My stomach dropped. They'd used the spare key to enter without permission while I was at work planning their move-in. The intrusion hit deep. I thanked Nicole and immediately called a locksmith to change everything. The guy worked quickly, handing me new keys with a nod after I explained briefly. Sleep evaded me that night, my mind racing through options. By morning, I decided to act, not wait for their next move. If they wanted to force this, they'd learn I wasn't backing down anymore. The violation of my space. Jennifer and David sneaking into my apartment with Mom's spare key lit a fire in me. I couldn't sleep, replaying their laughter about their future while they measured my home without permission. By dawn, fury surged past the shock. They thought they could take what was mine because they always had. I pulled out the folder with my purchase documents, hands steady as I flipped through the mortgage and deed, both listing me as sole owner. I snapped photos of every page with my phone, each click reinforcing the truth. They had no legal claim to my property. To be sure, I spent the morning researching Illinois property law online. Sites like the state's court page confirmed what I suspected: nobody can gift or transfer a property without the owner's consent, especially not when the deed's in one name. I called my best friend Stephanie, voice shaking, as I explained how Jennifer and David had used the key. They were in my apartment planning their move like I don't exist. Stephanie didn't hesitate. "That's crossing a line. You need to protect your home. Get a lawyer." Her certainty grounded me, pushing me toward action. Next, I rang my boyfriend Ryan, who'd been at the engagement party and seen Mom's announcement. "They're delusional if they think you'll just leave," he said over the call, his voice calm but firm. "You worked for that place. Talk to someone who knows property law." His support felt like a lifeline, urging me to fight back. By noon, I found Amanda Hayes, a Philadelphia-based lawyer specializing in real estate disputes. Her reviews were stellar, and she could meet that afternoon. I drove downtown, documents in hand, and laid out the situation in her sleek office. "Let me get this straight," Amanda said, leaning forward. "Your parents announced giving your apartment to your sister at a public event, despite you owning it outright." I nodded. "It's in my name, bought 3 years ago, renovated with $60,000 of my savings." She shook her head. "They have zero legal ground. You're the sole owner, no one can force you out." Relief hit, though. I'd known it deep down. "What now?" I asked. "They're ignoring my calls and texts." Amanda advised, documenting everything: texts, emails, even Nicole's account of the intrusion. We'll draft a cease and desist letter today, stating the apartment's yours and any entry without permission is trespassing. We spent an hour reviewing my deed mortgage and renovation receipts. She was impressed by my organization. This makes it airtight, she said, drafting the letter to send via courier to my parents and Jennifer by tomorrow. She also mentioned next steps like restraining orders if they pushed further. Back home, I wasn't just stopping at legal threats. I wanted a move they couldn't ignore. I created a detailed inventory of every upgrade I'd added to the apartment kitchen, with granite countertops and stainless appliances for $12,000 bathroom, with heated floors and new fixtures for $11,000 hardwood floors throughout for $15,000 recessed lighting and fans, for $5,000 smart home system for $7,000. Next to each, I noted what I'd paid for and whether it was removable. Most were additions, not structural, meaning I could legally take them. I took photos of every room, capturing the current state as evidence and a baseline. Then I called contractors, landing Matthew, a renovation specialist from Philly Homeworks, who'd done reverse jobs before. "You want to undo all the upgrades?" he asked, walking through my apartment. "Exactly," I said. "My family's trying to claim this place, so I'm taking what's mine before they can." Matthew nodded, understanding without judgment. "We can remove the appliances, countertops, flooring, everything you added. It'll take 2 days with my crew of 4. His estimate was $4,000 steep, but worth the message it'd send. "We'll store the materials safely. You can reuse or sell them later," he added. I agreed, scheduling the work for Thursday and Friday, right when Jennifer demanded I vacate. I found a climate-controlled storage unit nearby, renting a space large enough for the appliances, cabinets, and floors. To keep things smooth, I told my neighbor Nicole about the plan. "Contractors will be here Thursday and Friday removing some upgrades. It might get noisy during the day, but they'll keep it to business hours." Nicole's eyes widened. "This is about your sister, isn't it? I saw them measuring. It's wrong." Her support bolstered me. I also learned through Stephanie that my uncle Joshua, who worked in real estate, had been at the party and heard Mom's announcement. "He thought it was weird they didn't ask you," Stephanie said. "That gave me an edge. If they called him later, he'd back me up." As Wednesday night fell, my phone buzzed with another text from Jennifer. "We're moving in Saturday. Make sure it's empty and clean. David's planning furniture." I didn't reply. Let them come. They'd see an apartment, but not the one they expected. That night, I felt a strange calm. For once, I wasn't swallowing my family's demands or keeping the peace. I was taking control, ready to show them what happens when you push too far. Jennifer's text demanding I empty the apartment by Saturday sat unanswered on my phone as Thursday morning dawned. I'd taken 2 days off from teaching to oversee the plan, and at 7 sharp, Matthew and his crew from Philly Homeworks pulled into the visitor parking lot below my Manayunk building. Their trucks were loaded with tools, and Matthew greeted me with a quick handshake, introducing his 4-man team. "We'll start with the kitchen. It's the trickiest," he said, laying protective coverings across the floors to prevent damage. They moved fast, unplugging the stainless steel fridge, defrosting it, and rolling it onto a dolly. The gas range came next, with one guy capping the line for safety. The dishwasher was trickier, requiring careful disconnection to avoid leaks. Each appliance got wrapped in blankets and loaded into the truck for my storage unit. By 10, the granite countertops were detached, lifted with precision to keep them intact. The custom cabinets were unscrewed one by one, leaving bare walls and exposed plumbing where my dream kitchen had stood. The bathroom followed: glass shower doors, unbolted double vanity, removed heated tiles, carefully pried up to preserve them. Matthew's team worked like surgeons, ensuring no structural damage while stripping every upgrade I'd paid for. By the end of day 1, the apartment looked like it did when I bought it: basic, functional, empty of personality. Friday focused on the floors and fixtures. The hardwood I'd installed for $15,000 was lifted plank by plank, revealing the original concrete subfloor, gray and cold. Recessed lighting got swapped for cheap builder-grade fixtures, and the smart home system thermostat doorbell speakers was packed away. The custom window treatments came down, replaced with the plain blinds I'd kept in storage. By late afternoon, the place was a shell, livable, but stripped of everything that made it mine. Nicole, my neighbor, stopped by during a break, peering inside with wide eyes. "You're really doing it, taking it all back?" I nodded. "They left me no choice." She shook her head. "Good for you. Your sister had no right sneaking in like that." Her words echoed the support I'd felt from her earlier, strengthening my resolve. I stayed in the apartment that night, sleeping on an air mattress in the bare bedroom. The concrete floor was chilly, but I felt oddly at peace, knowing I'd taken back control. Saturday morning arrived with sunlight streaming through the basic blinds. I showered in the now standard bathroom, dressed in jeans and a sweater, and braced myself for what was coming. At 10, voices echoed in the hall. Jennifer's sharp tone, David's low murmur, Mom and Dad's familiar cadence. They'd all come to claim their prize. The knock was loud, almost demanding. I took a deep breath and opened the door, meeting 4 stunned faces. Jennifer spoke first. "You're still here. I told you to be out by yesterday." "This is my apartment," I said calmly, stepping aside. "Come in. We need to talk." They filed past, then froze as they saw the bare concrete, exposed pipes and basic fixtures where my renovated home had been. "What is this?" Jennifer gasped, her voice rising. "Where's everything?" "What did you do?" David demanded, turning to me with clenched fists. "I took what's mine," I replied, keeping my tone even. "Everything I paid for with $60,000 of my savings, the appliances, countertops, floors. This is how the place was when I bought it." Dad's face reddened. "You ruined this apartment. I held my ground. I didn't ruin anything. I removed my property. You tried to give away what's legally mine." Mom's eyes darted around, voice trembling. "Samantha, how could you? We promised Jennifer and David a beautiful home. You promised something you don't own." I shot back. "The deed's in my name," I checked. Jennifer burst into tears, collapsing onto the floor since there was no furniture. "This is our future. You destroyed our plans. The wedding's in 4 months." David put an arm around her. "We told everyone we'd live here. How could you be so selfish?" "Selfish?" My anger flared. "You took my spare key, entered my home without permission, and planned to take it. That's not family. That's taking without consent." Dad stepped forward, voice low and threatening. "Stop this nonsense, Samantha. Let them move in." "No," I said firmly. "This is my home and I'm staying." Mom tried guilt. "Think of your sister. She's starting a family." I shook my head. "I deserve a home too. Why is her need always more important?" David scoffed. "We'll sue you for this." I pulled out my phone, showing Amanda's text confirming the cease and desist letters delivered yesterday. "My lawyer says otherwise. This apartment's mine, sole ownership. You have no claim, and entering again is trespassing." Mom looked stunned. "You got a lawyer?" I nodded. "You left me no choice when you ignored me," and Dad made that threatening gesture at the party. Amanda had advised that the gesture paired with their intrusion could support a harassment claim if they pushed further. Dad pulled out his phone. "I'm calling Joshua. He knows real estate." I didn't flinch. "Go ahead. He'll tell you the same thing." While Dad stepped into the hall, Jennifer's sobs grew louder. "You promised us a perfect home," she wailed at Mom. "This is unlivable." "It's livable," I corrected. "Water runs. Electricity works. Walls are intact, just not luxurious. That was my investment, not yours." Dad returned, face grim. "Joshua says she's right. The deed's hers, and she can remove anything not structural." Silence fell heavy with their defeat. Jennifer stood, eyes blazing through tears. "You're no sister of mine?" she screamed, storming out with David. Mom and Dad followed, Mom pleading, "Samantha, please reconsider," and Dad muttering about cutting me off. The door slammed behind them, rattling the bare walls. I stood alone, heart pounding but steady. For the first time, I'd broken their pattern of walking over me. Whatever came next, they'd know I wasn't invisible anymore. The door's slam still echoed in my head as I stood in the stripped-down apartment, heart racing but resolute. I'd finally stood up to my family's demands, and though it felt raw, a weight lifted. Over the next 6 months, everything changed: my home, my relationships, and the way I saw myself. I couldn't stay in the bare Manayunk apartment. It held too many memories of their betrayal. 2 months later, I contacted a real estate agent to list it. The place sold quickly in its basic state to a young couple eager to customize it themselves, fetching a fair price based on a recent appraisal of $200,000. With the proceeds and my savings untouched by reinstalling upgrades, I put a down payment on a townhouse in Evanston just outside Chicago. It was pricier but offered more space, a small yard, and a fresh start away from family drama. Moving felt like closing a painful chapter. The fallout with my family spread fast. Word got around through relatives, some called to scold, others to support. My Aunt Hannah, Mom's older sister, phoned a week after the confrontation. "I'm proud of you," she said firmly. "Sarah always put Jennifer first. It's unfair, and you did what you had to." Her words validated years of feeling sidelined. A cousin, though, texted accusing me of being selfish, claiming I'd ruined Jennifer's wedding plans. Another uncle sent a quiet message of sympathy, saying he'd seen the favoritism growing up, but never spoke up. Their mixed reactions showed me how deep the family's patterns ran. Jennifer and David ended up renting a small place across town, nothing like the upscale home they'd bragged about. Gossip from a family friend said their wedding, held 3 months ago, was less grand than planned, with David's parents frustrated by the downgrade in their living situation. They'd invited me to the ceremony, but I declined. No part of me wanted to play happy family after what they'd done. My parents tried reaching out a few times, Mom leaving voicemails about working things out, Dad sending curt texts about family loyalty. I didn't respond. Their refusal to acknowledge their wrong, trying to give away my home without consent, made it clear nothing would change. I blocked their numbers along with Jennifer's and David's, cutting contact completely. No apologies came, and I didn't expect any. A lifetime of favoritism had cemented their entitlement, and I was done waiting for fairness. Stephanie and Ryan became my anchor. Stephanie introduced me to her tight-knit friend group who welcomed me without judgment: weekly dinners, holiday gatherings, real support. Ryan, steady as ever, helped me move into the townhouse, his encouragement pushing me to rebuild. My teaching career also took off. I channeled the confidence from standing my ground into my work, earning a lead teacher role with a raise that eased the townhouse payments. Looking back, the crisis forced me to see what family really means. I learned blood doesn't justify tolerating toxicity. You have to prioritize your boundaries, or you'll lose who you are. If I'd given in, I'd have lost more than an apartment. I'd have lost my self-respect. My warning to anyone listening: when family crosses lines, protect your mental health first. It's the only way to save your sanity. You deserve to thrive, not just survive, and sometimes that means walking away from those who hurt you most. My new townhouse is nearly complete now. Maple cabinets in the kitchen, bamboo floors, each choice reflecting me, not what others expect. It's a space untainted by old patterns, a true home. Standing up didn't mean burning bridges for spite. It meant demanding respect and knowing my worth. If you're stuck sacrificing for others, ask yourself, what changes if I put my well-being first? The answer might free you like it did me. Thanks for listening. Have you ever had to cut ties with toxic family? Drop your story in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Like, subscribe, and share if this resonated with you.